The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable programs.
Candlepin Stars and Strikes.
Look at this. Look at
Candlepin Stars and Strikes is sponsored in part by Somerville Lumber. Looks good. Looks good. That's the goal. It's a goal. Candlepin Stars and Strikes is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again. 2 full hours of Candlepin Bowling coming up today on the Winds. We're glad you could join us on another Sunday edition, and I'm Doug Brown, along with Dan Murphy. It's semifinal week, and we've got a bowler with us, Neil Gosselin, who will be looking for his 3rd win in a row, but the first 2 have been quite different.
That's absolutely right. 2 weeks ago, he couldn't miss at 425. Last week, he really struggled, but got by Brian McKinley. So when you can get by with not your best bowling, sometimes you stay on a long time.
All right, let's meet our bowlers for this semifinal match. First of all, we just spoke about him. He was our number 4 seed beginning this series from Lynn, Massachusetts, Neil Gosselin.
Okay, Neil comes in averaging 125, has a high single at 210, and his roll-off score at 671.
And Neil has won in the last 2 weeks against Gary Carrington and then against Brian McKinley. As Dan mentioned, he had that big 425 a couple of weeks ago. So he's going for his 3rd straight win, and his challenger will be from Newport, New Hampshire, our number 2 seed in this series, Dave Blaine.
Okay, Dave comes in averaging 121, has a high single of 186, and his roll-off score, which was the 2nd highest, at 685.
And our bonus ball contest coming up at the end of this hour will be good for $60, so we hope that you've sent your postcards in. If not, we'll tell you how to do that a little bit later on, and we will have our semifinal match getting started between Neil Gosselin and Dave Blaine right after these messages. All right, we're down to the final 3. Our number 4 seed, Neil Gosselin, has beaten Gary Carrington, and then last week, Brian McKinley. Today, it's Dave Blaine, the number 2 seed. The winner of this match advances to face Bob Whitcomb, our number 1 seed, next week. That'll, of course, be a championship week next Sunday here on The Winds, both on our show here and then at 1 o'clock on Stars and Strikes doubles. But Neil Gosselin, who has seen a big score and a not-so-big score the last 2 weeks.
But he saw W's both weeks. That's the important thing. We're down to 3 bowlers now that can make that 5th qualifying spot for the Tournament of Champions.
And a 6-box to start the match. 2 weeks ago, 19 marks for Neil Gosselin and a 425. Last week, 10 marks and a 365. Back in the pocket that time, and there's a strike.
Threw a lot of those a couple weeks ago. And there you see the replay of that strike. David Blaine now up on lane 32.
Dave made his very first appearance here on Stars and Strikes just a couple of months ago. Made it a successful one. In fact, he had 2 successful ones. Came in as the number 5 seed. He knocked off Mike Ferranti, and then he beat Roger Bowden before finally losing a tough match to Tom Morgan, who eventually went on to win that series and qualify for the tournament. And Dave is right around the 10-pin.
No luck on that shot.
So Dave's record here, 2-1. Out of Newport, New Hampshire, Dave and his wife Helen have 2 daughters, 10-year-old Amanda and 8-year-old Jessica. Dave is self-employed as a carpenter, does a lot of his bowling right there in Newport at the Sunset Lanes. Once again, the final roll-off for this series, which created a very tight bunching of scores. Bob Whitcomb in the number 1 spot finished at 690. Gary Carrington, who was the 5th seed, finished at 670. And right behind him was Wayne Denon at 669. And then just a few pins in back of them was Tim Lipke at 664. And the final roll-off for the series held at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord, New Hampshire. That's the place that my partner takes care of. And you want you want to thank all of your staff personally, or
Yes, thank you, staff.
personally?
Personally.
That's a nice touch.
They appreciate me. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, is that what they told you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm supposed to appreciate them, right? No, they do a great job. And Neil sliding by the 3-6, 8 on the strike.
And 9. 33 through 3. April 25th is the date that we will begin the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. 5 weeks of action here on the Winds, beginning April 25th.
And the excitement is starting to build already. Bowlers are starting to talk about it. We've got an excellent field. We'll go over those bowlers with you. Oh! As the match progresses today, we'll give you the other qualifiers, but we got a great lineup so far.
Dave Blaine now looking for his first mark in the match.
Four horsemen left plus the 9-pin. No wood to help, Dave.
Just slipping by the head pin. And the 9. 5 pins the difference, but Neil has that spare up in the 4th. Off to the right. And again.
Just releasing that ball a little too soon. Consequently, the ball stays out to the right.
On target that time. Takes another 9 box. Neil Gosselin, with the 2 wins over the last 2 weeks, has improved his overall record here to 4-3. Leaves the 3-pin.
It's a good 9 fill on the spare.
Neil has averaged 133 last 2 weeks here on the show, and there is a spare on top of the previous one.
Neil in his 4-step approach. Turns the ball over, makes the ball break from right to left.
Oh, yes!
That's a nice kick there on the 6-10. 3 in a row and 4 marks out of 6 boxes. You got the 7 goes down and pin comes flying across for the 10 and finally the 6. And an early lead for Neil Gosselin.
Meanwhile, Dave Blaine is struggling for answers here early.
2-4, 6-10.
Oh, yes!
Very nicely done. I thought he might have been a little too full on the 2-pin, but with the wood behind, watch the wood behind kick forward. No, actually the 2-pin went up in the air, came down on the 4-pin.
Dave breaks through for the first mark. He's back on the head pin, but only 5.
2-4-7 on the left, 6-10 on the right with a piece of wood in front of the 6-10.
He can somehow make contact with the 2 and the wood. Oh, he tried to split it.
Tried to do just like you were talking about, Doug, but just a little far right on, missed the 2-pin, went right through the hole between the 2-pin and the deadwood. Now he just grabs 3.
I didn't think he'd be able to get the ball through there. Strike up now for Neil Gosselin. Off to another quick start. Would love to see the 3 go.
Oh, I thought I hit it hard enough, but he has a 3 with a piece of wood to the right. He's going to try to sweep that from right to left through the 3-pin into the 2, and just like that, almost. Actually pushed that 7-pin.
What does he got? 4 pieces of wood in front of the 7-pin now. Well, probably deserved better. Here it is.
Actually, too much wood. Yeah, everything stopped, everything from moving around, but still has 101 through 7. Back on the head pin, this time the 2-4-6.
And this wood is angling at a point where he might be able to convert this.
Gotta have that 2-pin. He's got it. Oh.
Ooh.
He got a strange look on his face, like, why didn't that wood even move? Never touched the piece of dead wood.
It's a 10. So 2 10s for Neil Gosselin. Could have been 2 marks. Instead, 2 opens and an opening for Dave Blaine. David just not carrying the extra pin right now.
We've seen a lot of this the last couple weeks. Just a little heavy on the head pin instead of dead in the pocket. 3-6-4-7. Piece of wood between the 4-7, which could help.
Oh, yes. Great shot. Kind of similar to the first mark he made, although he played it a little differently.
Played it on the inside and watch the wood. See the wood behind the 4 and 7 kind of twisted in between, knocked both of those pins down. Second mark for Dave Blaine.
He's going to pick up some ground here and chance for another mark with an 8-drop. The 2-4. He's going to be careful of that wood in the front. He's got it. Did what he had to do there, putting the 2 marks up. Neil's lead had gotten as high as 31 before those 2 marks. Oh, another big ball. Look out. Let's see.
5-7 were left, and then when the 5 went down, thought maybe he has a chance of knocking the 5 as well for the strike, but everything but the 5, and he's on it for the spare.
5 marks for Neil.
5 out of 9 boxes, 3 spares, 2 strikes. Quick look at the scoreboard.
Cindy Sissom keeping it for us here on the big board for the bowlers and the fans here at Park Place. 9-drop on the spare.
Already at 130 through 9. Negotiate the 4-pin for another mark.
Oh, yes.
Gives him 140 plus the ball.
Just 2. The half Worcester makes it 142.
Well, Dave Blaine is working on a spare, down by 23. He'll cut into that temporarily with his fill.
Oh, yes. He'll cut into it in a big way. Strike on spare. Well, I'll bet if we ask Dave later he'll tell us that he made some kind of an adjustment on the lane from those first few boxes because he was not happy with the way he was delivering the ball earlier.
No, the strike, for a fact, the ball was out further. He was laying the ball right down, if not right on the foul line, just even sometimes behind it. That ball was about halfway between the foul line and the lob line when he got the strike.
Oh, yes! 4 marks in a row for Dave Blaine.
So he's not going to have the lead, but he's going to be awfully close. Just come out of the pit for that 10-pin.
128 plus a ball.
Strike would give him 38, down by 4.
Good opening game for both bowlers as Dave Blaine catches fire here at the end. It's a 6-drop and a 134. So the lead is 8 for Neil Gosselin after 1. 142 to 134. We're back after these words. Dave Blaine and Neil Gosselin putting on a show the last 5 boxes of that first game.
Dave's looking at 3-6-4. Inside, nope, not going to happen.
Dave Blaine had 74 pins the last 4 boxes of that first game. Starts with a 9 here. Off to the right. That was a problem he was battling earlier.
In his steps, he drifts a little bit to the left, which would cause a little bit of that throwing to the right, too. Starts in the middle, but he ends up to the left-hand side of the lane.
Yes, sir.
But it works. Tripping the 5-pin from behind for the spare.
One of our participating sponsors in this series on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Emmett Horgan and all the gang down at Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire, right on Route 28, just down the road here from Park Place Lanes. Come to Salem and save. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Neil Gosselin, spare in the first. Almost had the strike. Thought that 7-pin might kick out of there.
Right through the middle. 3-6-10 on the right, 2-4 left. Everything else is down, but 5 fill on the spare.
Nine for Neil. 24 through 2, so a chance for Dave Blaine to cut into the lead with this fill. And this time he's off to the left, just 2.
At the other extreme that time, held on to the ball too long. Pulled it left.
See if he can convert this one. Oh, you bet.
One little mistake, pulled it to the left, and he came right back that time in the 1-3 pocket. Knocked down the other 8 for 2 marks in a row.
And both of them with a lot of pins standing. Looking for the big fill now. On the head pin this time, but just 5.
Piece of wood in front of that 6-10. He might be able to go inside the 3-pin. I'd still like to try to split him. That's what he's doing.
Yes. Great shot.
Great shot is right.
3 terrific shots in a row for Dave Blaine for spares.
Working hard, and usually when you pick up some of these cut shots, you're in for a good day because they're eventually going to start falling for you. And you get a little easier spares to shoot at. Neil Gosselin for his 3rd and 4th frames. Wants the 7-pin to get out of there. Not going to happen. 2-7 left. With the wood there, he might be able to go on the inside too. His ball breaks sharp from right to left. It's going to be going that way anyways.
Oh, just missed it. No, and he almost did it again. $9.
33 through 3. Lead now just 5 pins for Neil Gosselin, and he's opposite a spare, already posted by Dave Blaine. And this one won't be easy. 4, 5, and 7.
Look out. Used all the lane.
Certainly did.
For a 9. And we will pause right here. Neil Gosselin in the lead, but when we come back, that may change. Dave Blaine will fill a spare when we come back. Dave Blaine working on a spare. He's got 3 in a row. Trying to take the lead in the match for the first time, and he does.
And he does in a big way.
Oh, yes.
That's 4 marks in a row now.
Actually, he did lead briefly very early, but he was as many as 30 pins down in game 1.
As I say, when you're sharp enough to started making cut shots, eventually you're going to hit the pocket and you're going to get a few breaks, and that's what's happening now for Dave Blaine. Another makeable spare. 2, 5, 4, 7. Or the 2, 4, 5, 7. Ooh.
Nope. Either way, the 7 is still there. 75 half for Dave. And a 10.
85 through 6.
Neil Gosselin in the midst of a little dry spell here, but he'll shoot at the 4-7. Got to keep an eye on the angle of that wood, though.
Yeah, it looks like he's cranking it up one more notch. Throwing the ball real hard right now.
Yes.
Spare in the 5th. It's that fine line he's playing. The more speed, the straighter the ball is. And he's used to having his ball break from right to left, so you have to start shooting directly at the pins a little more when you have more speed.
And it's an 8. So a double-figure lead right now for Dave Blaine at 13.
Light hit that time. Let's see. The 5, 7, 10.
Well,
and it's a makeable shot, I think.
yeah, the front piece of wood is the target.
He might fly the ball up over the 7-pin. That's the one. Oh, he's too low. That's the only problem I see. Is it looks like the red line there. Got a good shot at making it. However, the ball's going to fly, whether it can catch the 7-pin going by or not. Well,
Well, he made it.
Going right on the cap.
Yeah. For $10. Here's how it went eventually. Just got the nudge on the 10 pin. And now a spread eagle. Wait, 5, 7, 10, and then the spread eagle right on top of it.
Well, you try to rationalize with yourself, say, well, at least I'm on the head pin still. It's a game of streaks, and you'll see your better bowlers, your higher average bowlers, can able to hit that pocket for longer periods of time, and they get the more spare leaves to shoot at. And eventually, no one can consistently hit it.
$9, 104. A couple of openings here for Neil Gosselin.
See that Dave had a streak right there in the 2 through the 5th boxes where he was marking. Now he's got a little dry spell. Neil Gosselin, see if he can pick it up. Trails by 13.
Oh my.
Just the 2 pin.
See that happen every once in a while. It doesn't seem possible, but just 1 pin out of the middle.
I know someone who did that on a TV show and picked it up for a spare, and then threw the next fill ball and got the 3 pin.
Wow. And then quit right after that?
I thought about it. $7, 71 through 7 for Neil.
Did you win the match?
Yes, I did, as a matter of
Okay.
fact. Spare one, spare one. So Neil, after an opening game of 142, seems to be struggling a bit here in the second.
Oh, let's see. Let's see. Now it'll be a 9. Get those pins moving around here at Park Place. You never know what might happen. You saw a 16-pin lead in the match now for this man.
Dave would like nothing better than put 2 more marks up. We got a good break there off the head pin. The 1, 2, and 7 left.
Dave, in the first 15 boxes of the match, halfway through, had a 209. Plays it outside, and it doesn't carry the 7 pin.
Well, you saw his reaction. He says, "Nah, I didn't want it out there."
Right at the 7 for the 10 bucks.
It looked like for a while Dave was taking over the control of the match in those first few frames of this game, but now he's had 4 opens, leaving the door open for Neil Gosselin to come back at him.
Oh,
take care of it.
Strike in the 10th. Had one back in the 5th, too. His 3rd strike of the match.
He's at 124 now. He's going to be up close to that 134 that he had at opening game.
Maybe exactly. No, it'll be a 133. 2-string total, 267 for Dave Blaine. And now Neil Gosselin for the final 2, thinking that he would like to put up at least 1 mark here to keep the lead under 20. Well, he was off target, but he'll shoot at the 1, 3, 6, and 7 with wood.
I think he's missed the head pin more with the first ball in this one game than he has in the last 3 weeks.
Missed it again. And an $8. And Neil's on the head pin that time, and he kicks out a couple extras. He'll shoot at the 6. And he's got it. Pinching it against the wood. Well, if Neil gets an 8 or better, he'll keep the lead under 20. Oh, there's an 8 or better. Strike on spare in the 10th. So through 2 games, each bowler with 10 marks, 7 spares, and 3 strikes. The difference, Dave Blaine's been able to bunch them together a little bit better, and he has a 17-pin lead after 2. We'll be back. Well, by the end of next week's show, we will have a 5th name to add to this list. These are the 4 guys who've already qualified for the 5th annual Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, which begins on April the 25th at 12 noon here on the Winds. Paul Berger, Peter Flynn, Tom Morgan, Bob Mazur already there. Who will be the 5th qualifier? Maybe it'll be one of these 2 guys. Neil Gosselin and Dave Blaine battling today. The winner of this one gets Bob Whitcomb next week. The winner of that match moves into the tournament. Neil Gosselin, 17 pins down, and comes up with a strike.
One way of taking care of a 17-pin deficit is to throw some strikes. And there's one.
2nd in a row. He had one to finish the previous game. Unfortunately, it won't add up as a double O.
How about this?
Ooh. Well, he's better to have the 5 pin still there.
I think he can make this. A little bit to the left of that red line. His ball breaks from right to left. It's going to be heading toward the 7 pin. Yeah, the other would roll back a little further, though. Let's see.
Nope.
Boy, I thought he'd come closer than that. I thought he'd get 2 out of the 3 anyways. But it's an 8 fill on the strike.
And it's a 9 box.
27 through 2.
Dave Blaine with a light hit. Could he have the whole back row? No, the 9 will go.
Almost. 7, 8, 10. Let's see where the wood settles down. There's no doubt that he has to play the one furthest out, which is the one to the extreme right, and maybe to the left-hand tip of that. Let's see what happens.
No, he missed it. Missed that front piece of wood. Our next scheduled taping of Stars and Strikes here at Park Place Lanes in Windham is a week from Tuesday. I take it back. Tuesday, March 16th, day after tomorrow. You may just want to
check.
If you're making plans, you just may want to give a call here to Park Place and make sure that we'll be here on Tuesday. But as of now, that is the schedule. Tuesday, March 16th. We start at about 10 in the morning, go the rest of the day till about 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon. We'd love to see you. Stop by and say hi. And of course, when you...
Oh, what a shot.
Great shot for Dave Blaine.
My, oh my, let's watch this. This is incredible. He catches all of that 3 pin, and then it's just a matter of time. Look at that. Beautiful shot.
Mark number 11 for Dave Blaine. Each bowler with 11 in the match.
Similar hit that he had a strike on last time, Neil. This time he's a little tad lighter in the 1-2. Leaves himself the cluster of 5, the 3, 5, 6, 9, and 10 in the right-hand corner. Piece of wood that's turned a little bit toward him. Oh, yes. Another nice shot. Made it look awful easy, but with that angle of the wood, that was a difficult shot to make. Had to hit it just right to turn the wood and drive it straight back.
Well, as I started to say before I was interrupted by that great shot a minute ago, when you come here to Park Place Lanes, whether it's for one of our tapings or for some bowling on your own, be sure to stop by, breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Willow Tree restaurant located right inside Park Place Lane, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Rodney Cronin and his folks do a fine job, and you'll enjoy it. It's where the crew eats. Remember, the Willow Tree. $8 for Neil. By the way, Rodney Cronin wanted me to pass along congratulations to the Baudois family, the new owners of Whippersnappers Restaurant in Londonderry, which just opened several weeks back. So good luck to them.
Off target that time on the headpin, but he gets a 7-pin drop, that being David Blaine. Trying to protect the 17-pin advantage coming in.
Dave has kind of developed a trend in this match. He's either made terrific shots, or if he misses, he misses everything. So it's been feast or famine, it seems. He has made some great shots, though. And he's got a fine score working, as does Neil Gosselin. The winner to advance to the championship match next week. The runner-up today will take home third place prize money of $250. But neither one of them wants that. For the spare? No. Oop.
Maybe. Now no. The lead is down to 8.
And it's a 10. And we'll pause right here. Neil Gosselin has cut 7 pins off the lead. It's 10 with 6 boxes to go. The rest of the semifinal after these words. All right, 6 boxes to go to decide this thing, and just 10 pins the difference right now. Almost a collapsible strike there into the corner. Oh, that piece of wood is getting pushed back now. That front piece went into the channel, and the other piece got pushed. It's not frozen, I don't think, but it's in a pretty good spot. Spare it up in the first, or in the 6th rather. Make it the 5th for Neil Gosselin. 3 marks in a row on lane 32.
Notice that, and there's a scoreboard flashed up there. Every other box, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th, all on lane 32. 2 spares and a strike.
Oh, yes!
This time he trips the 6-pin for the strike.
$14 marks for Neil Gosselin, and he's still trailing in the match.
May not be after these 2 boxes.
Dave's still having a problem letting the ball escape to the right. Trying to recover.
Well, if he can get all these, the match will be dead even.
There it is. So 5 boxes left. Neil Gosselin has a strike up in the 6th, and this thing is tied.
This is what it's all about, boys and girls. Sweaty palms, and wants that 5-pin to go or the wood to shift around. He's got a makeable spare now. Won't be easy, but problem is when it's pointing right at you, you can't get enough to get enough momentum from that wood moving to the left. Oh no, he missed it entirely.
Coming up in just a few minutes, semifinals on Stars and Strikes doubles. Larry Valcourt and Fred Ranella against Brian Fuller and Steve Vadney.
Well, it's a 2-pin advantage now for Neil Gosselin, plus the fill on the strike.
Oh,
boy.
big double. Had a double strike in the third game 2 weeks ago in his win in the first match of this series.
That really iced that match that day, really, against Gary Carrington, and now he's doing the same thing to Dave Blaine. Could be 3. Oh, big break there.
100 in the 6th. And spare on strike in the 7th.
And all of a sudden, he goes from a 72 half to 130 after 8. Still got a spare working. Dave Blaine is in trouble. Down by 20.
Boy, this match has been all over the lot. Neil Gosselin had a 31-pin lead in Game 1. By the end of Game 2, he trailed by 18, 17 at the end of the game. And now he's turned it around again, and Dave Blaine continues to struggle.
And the lead is climbing by 10s now. Up to 30, 47 in this game alone now. With the help of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks for Neil Gosselin, including the double strike. So you'd have to have this.
Nope.
Going to be tough now.
Neil seems destined for another 400, which would be his second in 3 weeks. Neil on a spare. Just 5 this time.
Just a little light in the 1-3 pocket, but he's flowing right now. He's just real loose up there and got the match well in hand.
Tell you what, the key in this match right now for Neil Gosselin might have been that spare strike he threw in the last box of the second game.
Maybe right.
It kept it at a manageable deficit. He was able to make it up.
144, already over 400. I take that back, 394. Now he's over 400. No, 99. You see,
Give it time, Dan.
Yeah, I had to get the other sock off. I was going to use the other toes, and that would have been fine. Now?
Now, Dan.
Okay. 400 even right now.
Boy, Neil really turned that one over. 7 bucks, 151. It probably won't matter at this point. Dave Blaine has to come up with a 135, which means he needs strikes and a bunch of them. He's got to come up with 54 pins in the last 2 boxes. It's possible, but it's got to start with a strike. Make it 3 in a row for Neil Gosselin.
Long time since we've had.
Say, we'll be scurrying back through the record books during the break. Spare for Dave in the 9th. Dave's going to have a pretty good 3-string total himself, just that he got cold at the wrong time. The spare in the 10th? No. $10, 109, 376 for Dave Blaine. Not good enough to beat Neil Gosselin, who comes up with his second 400 triple in the last 3 weeks. And it will be Neil Gosselin coming all the way up from the number 4 spot to go into the ladder championship match next week against Bob Whitcomb. We'll talk about that and talk with the bowlers after these words. Don't go away. All right, welcome back. Stars and Strikes in the books. Semifinal week halfway through, and we have our matchup for next week's singles championship match. It'll be Neil Gosselin, now has won 3 in a row, going against our number 1 seed.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Bob Whitcomb is a tough little bowler too, but the way Neil's been bowling, if you can just forget about last week and bowl 2 weeks ago and the way he bowled today, it should be a great match.
All right, let's talk to both bowlers. First of all, a round of applause for Dave Blaine. Dave is going to take home the check for 3rd place for $250. Congratulations, Dave. Well, you made some just terrific shots, great spare shots, but just the pins weren't falling for you when you needed them at the end.
Well, I got off the head pin there in the last game, and that's when Neil came around, and 17 pins is nothing in this game.
It was a strange match. It just fluctuated wildly back and forth.
Well, he came alive that last string, and he won the match fair and square. That's all there is to it.
All right, Dave. Congratulations on getting here, and of course there is still one more opportunity, one more series before the end of the year.
2 for 2 on the last 2. Maybe I can make it 3 in a row. Who knows?
All right, Dave. Thanks very much. Thanks. Congratulations. All right, Neil Gosselin, 3rd time in a row. Maybe the 3rd time will be the charm here on the bonus ball contest. It's $60 plus brand new bowling balls if Neil and our home viewer can come up with a match here. So let's see. Six is the number, Mr. Murphy. Not a match. Gladys Patton from Franklin, New Hampshire was looking for perfection, Neil. She wanted a strike. So for Gladys, you have high standards. And that's important. And we will send you a consolation gift, and thanks for participating in the contest. Of course, it'll be up to $70 next week. Slide right in here so we can get you on camera. 3 in a row, and you save the best for the end.
Oh, boy, that was a tough one, I'll tell you. He made some great shots. Yeah, absolutely really super shots. I was lucky he didn't get the big fills on him, because that's what would have killed me.
Again, today, like you did 2 weeks ago, you had the strike ball working.
Yeah, it came back. I don't know, it comes and goes. We all know that.
Well, we'll see if it's here next week for Bob Whitcomb in the championship.
I hope it is.
All right.
I really do.
Thanks, Neil. Congratulations. All right, we'll see you next week. It's been a long time, more than a year, in fact, since we've had, or actually a little less than a year, since we've had a bowler win 4 matches in a row. Let's spin you over to the ladder as we will tell you that coming up from the number 4 seed, Neil Gosselin will be going for his 4th win in a row. Now, earlier this year, back in the fall, in October, Peter Flynn won 3 matches in a row to get to the Tournament of Champions. The last guy to win 4 in a row was Mike Morgan in last year's tournament. It's been since then, that someone's been able to do it.
Yeah, he really made it count, Mike Morgan. And, of course, Neil Diamond. Why did I call him Neil Diamond? He's bowling like a diamond, I guess. But Neil Gosselin, if he can win this one, he puts himself in the Tournament of Champions, so it's a big match for him.
Well, he's not Neil Diamond, but maybe he'll sing a number for us next week if he wins the whole thing. Stay tuned, because we've got Stars and Strikes doubles semifinal action coming up immediately following. It'll be Larry Valcourt and Fred Ranella going for their 2nd win in a row, and they will face off against Brian Fuller and Steve Vadney. Until then, from Park Place Lanes, for Dan Murphy and the whole True Jug Ground, so long, everybody.